He wanted to set up this thing where Goldberg was going to spear him out of his wrestling boots. He wanted to get Goldberg over. And Goldberg at the time, and I'm glad for Bill that he's doing so well, and Bill's a super nice guy. But Bill had a million. He was what they wanted Eric Watts to be. What Bill wanted Eric Watts to be. Go to 0 and 100, from 0 to 100 in months, if not weeks. And he just caught fire, and he had so many voices in his ear. Do this, do this, do this. Don't do this, don't do this. And here's a guy that really doesn't have a lot of experience, and all these veterans are telling him all these different things. So I think that he started getting very. He didn't like. I think he started trying to just not listen to all these ideas because they were confusing with him. Well, Chris was trying to start this little mini blow-off feud where eventually he would literally spear him out of his boots. Chris was going to kick off his boots, and Bill didn't think that Chris was at the level that deserved that kind of push, to even go back and forth with him on a microphone. Chris got annoyed, and I think when Chris went to WWF and he finally gained the credibility that he gained, and if Goldberg came in back then with an attitude, I think Chris said, you know what, you might have been able to get away with it then, but we aren't going to do this again. Chris is a tough guy.
Do you think that they ended Goldberg's streak too early?
I think they could have gotten much more out of Goldberg's first loss than they got. I think that they blew a fantastic opportunity. Whether it was too soon, I don't know. But I think that it was, I think all parties would admit in hindsight that there would have been a much better opportunity to draw money doing something different, doing it a different way.
As the ring announcer who was at most of those events when his streak was really taking off, what was the crowd like?
Oh, unbelievable. It was crazy. I mean, you had sold out arenas chanting his name, and there used to be people would no show, people would get hurt, people would know. If Goldberg no showed to show that he was in the main event of, we once literally he couldn't get on an airplane. We had to rent a private jet and a private helicopter, and I think it was in Connecticut, and postpone the show from a 7:30 start to an 8:30 start just to be able to get Goldberg there because they were threatening to riot if Goldberg didn't show up. It was crazy. It was like the Beatles that you hear this. You see the stories about the Beatles. It was crazy, and I'll tell you what, I don't know what was in his head as far as all the different people telling him what to do. I will tell you, as far as having a big head, he always had time for his fans. He would literally stand there. I would see him sometimes standing in a garage in a hotel in freezing weather, signing autographs for fans for an hour after a Monday night show. I would go up, take a shower, go bar, have a drink, and get ready to go to another bar with some of the guys, and he's still standing out there in his sweatshirt signing autographs for people. So, I mean, he really appreciates his fans. He had all the time in the world for him. He never let that get to his head. But I do know that there was a lot of people pulling him in a lot of different directions. When somebody gets over so big, there's a lot of people that like to jump in on that popularity because there's money to be earned and there's power to be gotten.